nation is in debt. But to whom? Every country in the world owes money. The U.S. national debt has surpassed $38 trillion, the highest in its history. The European Union owes over $14 trillion. Japan around $9 trillion. Even oil-rich Saudi Arabia, export giant Germany, and China carry massive debts. But think about it. If every country is in debt, then who are they all borrowing from? Debt, the system that holds the world together. Debt isn't just a burden. It's the skeleton of the modern world. Wars, crises, economic rises and collapses all stand upon this network of debt. Long before Wall Street, the idea of borrowing was born in war. In 1694, England was fighting France and had run out of gold. The king turned to merchants for help. In return for tax-backed interest payments, merchants loaned money to the crown. To manage this system, the Bank of England was founded. That moment changed history. Now, governments could spend money they didn't have, and investors gained something new, a promise backed by power. That promise could be bought and sold, and thus the bond was born. Debt became the measure of power. Over time, borrowing stopped being a sign of weakness. It became a symbol of trust and stability. The ability to borrow easily began to define who truly ruled the world. Empires once fought for gold and land. Now they issue bonds to fight for influence. The winners are no longer those who conquer territory, but those who can master the balance sheets. Everyone owes everyone. Here's today's reality. The U.S. owes $38 trillion. Japan owes $9 trillion. Global debt increases by $1 trillion every 100 days. Every country borrows. Every bank lends. Every citizen is both a debtor and a creditor. But the question remains, who holds the other end of the rope, and how far does it go? Who does America actually owe? Half of America's $38 trillion debt is owed to its own institutions, to investors, banks, funds. Most of those are American. Banks, pension funds, insurance companies, the Federal Reserve. The rest is held by foreign nations like Japan, China, the UK, Luxembourg. So the phrase, America owes China, is only partly true. China holds just about 2% of U.S. debt. In reality, America owes America. The government issues bonds. Banks buy them. The Fed repurchases them when needed. Citizens pay taxes that fund the interest. It's a closed loop, a system that owes itself, yet functions perfectly. The global loop. This isn't just an American pattern, it's global. The U.S. lends to Japan. Through the IMF, it lends to Europe. Europe credits developing nations. Those nations reinvest their earnings into Western bonds. We live inside a worldwide web of debt, everyone promising everyone else. And the system survives only because people believe in those promises. The invisible power. Markets and central banks. Who stands behind this chain? Hedge funds, pension funds, central banks, and global investment giants. They decide who gets to borrow and who doesn't. Democracy chooses leaders, but markets decide who survives. And the high priests of this order are the central banks. They don't just manage debt, they create new debt. Every dollar in existence represents a debt somewhere. There is no money without debt. A system built on trust. The system runs only on trust. As long as investors believe governments will pay interest, the machine keeps turning. But when that trust collapses, we've seen it in Greece, Argentina, Sri Lanka. When debt becomes unpayable, interest rates explode. People suffer, power shifts, and the game restarts. Because in this system, the goal isn't to repay debt, it's to control it. Debt never dies. It's just renewed nations don't pay off debt. They refinance it. Economists call it rollover debt. Interest has become the bloodstream of the global economy. The U.S. will never pay off its debt. Japan lives with debt worth 250% of its GDP, and the system still holds. Because no one expects full repayment, only a new agreement. Debt has become the most trusted asset in the world. Banks use it as collateral. Pension funds treat it as investment. If governments ever truly paid off their debts, the entire system would collapse, because those debts have become money itself. The truth. When politicians promise we'll be debt-free someday, they're lying. The goal was never to end debt, only to keep the system alive. If confidence collapses, interest rates soar, and the economy unravels. So the real plan was never repayment. The plan is to keep the world believing in debt. But that belief isn't evenly shared. Interest flows upward. From workers to investors, from taxpayers to capital holders. Debt isn't just between nations, it's between classes. Those who hold debt gain. Those who pay it lose. Final words. The global debt system rests on a single promise. We will pay. But maybe that promise was never meant to be fulfilled, only to be believed. As long as faith remains, the system works. But the moment the trust fades, the world will remember what debt truly is: a promise that can never be kept.